Hello, class 11th. Wish you all a very good morning first. So, today our lecture is about the another process, another phase of light reaction, that is about the cyclic photophosphorylation. As you know, that light reaction it completes in two phases, that is one is non-cyclic or we discussed about electron transport chain, and the cyclic photophosphorylation. So today we will discuss about cyclic photophosphorylation, as well as the second thing we will discuss the difference between photosystem 1 and photosystem 2, and the third thing we will discuss, that is the difference between cyclic and non-cyclic photophosphorylation. So these three things that is about our today's lecture. So let's start with cyclic photophosphorylation first. So as you know, cyclic means the electrons which are going to flow, and that will again come back to the photosystem. Photo means light phosphorylation, that here we are going to talk about the again ATP, right? So here the photosystem, or I will say photosystem light harvesting complex, which play role in cyclic photophosphorylation, is photosystem 1. And now you are very much clear that photosystem 1, chlorophyll A absorbs light at a wavelength of 700 nanometer, right? So what is photo, let's see one step by step that what is this cyclic photophosphorylation is about. As you know that light falls on the pigment, that is your antenna complex. Once it antenna complex, what is the antenna complex? Which consists of accessory pigments, that is made up of your accessory pigments plus your main molecule, that is the chlorophyll A. So as light is absorbed by these accessory pigment, they transfer the whole energy to chlorophyll A. So chlorophyll A, after absorbing the light at a wavelength of 700 nanometer and absorbing the energy from these accessory pigment, it get excited and it release a pair of electron get excited, and they will be received by PEA. What is PEA? It is primary electron acceptor. Now there is always, now you know that when these electrons they are at higher energy level, they come back to the low energy. So same thing is happening here, that these electrons which are received by primary electron acceptor, they come back from higher energy level to lower energy level. So they flow through a electron transport chain. Now what this chain consists of? There is a ferredoxin, FD is ferredoxin. Then there is a PQ. What is PQ? That is the plastoquinone. Then it will come pass the electrons to the CY. What is CY? That is your cytochrome complex. The last one is PC. What is PC? That is the plastocyanin. So a pair of electrons, they will move from primary electron acceptor and they will be received by ferredoxin, and then plastoquinone, then cytochrome complex, and then plastocyanin. Now what is happening here? As you can see that once the electron received by ferredoxin, then extra energy is released, right? Extra energy is released, and that is used in the formation of ATP. Now here ADP combine with your inorganic phosphate. PI is inorganic phosphate. So ADP, that is your adenine diphosphate, it combine with inorganic phosphate and form ATP. That is, first ATP is formed when electrons they move from primary electrons acceptor to ferredoxin. Now the second one's PQ transfer the pair of electron to cytochrome complex. Once they will be received by cytochrome complex, again the more little more extra amount of energy is released here and another molecule of ATP is formed. So two molecules of ATP, they are formed here in cyclic photophosphorylation. Now once the pair of electron they reach to plastocyanin, they transfer the pair of electron, again they go back to the photosystem 1, that is P700. That is why, as you can see, that once the electrons they move from chlorophyll A, they are coming again back to the chlorophyll A molecule. So that is why this cycle of flow of electron, it is known as cyclic photophosphorylation. So now what you have to write down in your exam, that first thing, why it is called cyclic, that only first key point for you, that one pigment photosystem is functional here. Which one? That is the photosystem 1. If I ask you that in non-cyclic how many photosystems they were functional, there were two photosystems were functional, photosystem 1 and photosystem 2. But in cyclic only one photosystem is functional, and electrons they are circulated only within this system only. So phosphorylation occurs due to cyclic flow of electron, means ATP synthesis is occurring due to the flow of electrons. No photolysis of water. Another difference point between non-cyclic and cyclic is here no splitting of water. As you can see here that there is no splitting of water, because already from PC only the electrons they are moving back to chlorophyll A molecule. Now what is the location where this cyclic flow of electrons occur? It occurs in the stromal lamellae. If this is our grana and this is the another pile of grana, another pile of thylakoids. Now you know that these grana, they are attached to with each other with the help of connecting link, that is the stromal lamellae. So stromal lamellae membrane. Now these stromal lamellae membranes, they do not have photosystem 2, and when they do not have photosystem 2, they also lack enzyme, that is NADP reductase enzyme. So NADP reductase enzyme is not there in stromal lamellae, photosystem 2 is not there, so it means excited electron are not going to pass to NADP and cycle back to PS1 through the electron transport chain. So only and only ATP is synthesized. No reducing power. What is reducing power? That is NADPH2. No reducing power is synthesized in cyclic photophosphorylation. It occurs only when the light of wavelength is beyond, means more than the 680 nanometer is available for the excitation of electron. It is photosystem 1 is not associated with the photolysis complex. That is the, here we are talking about the photolysis of water, and photosystem 1 has no relationship with that complex. Now let's see. So this was about, you can write down in your exam when it is going to come in 3 or 5 marks, about the complete cyclic photophosphorylation. Next is the, let's see now how photosystem 1 is different from photosystem 2. So there are few points, few characters. First we will talk about the reaction center. If we talk about photosystem 1, the reaction center chlorophyll A, that is at the 700, and if we talk about the photosystem 2, the reaction center absorb the light at 680 nanometer. So in photosystem 1 we have P700 and photosystem 2, that is P680. Mean reaction center chlorophyll A, it absorb light at a wavelength of 700 nanometer, and in photosystem 2 it absorb light at 680 nanometer. This is very much clear. Next is cycling. We are talking about photosystem 1 and photosystem 2. Photosystem 1 is involved in both cyclic and non-cyclic. Now today you have already we have discussed now cyclic. We are completed with cyclic also, and non-cyclic we discussed in our previous lecture. And what was non-cyclic? That first reaction, first electrons were getting activated, and then they were transferred to the photosystem 1. So photosystem 1 is involved in both cyclic and non-cyclic, but photosystem 1 involved only in non-cyclic photophosphorylation. So this point is also clear. The ratio of chlorophyll and carotenoid. See, in photosystem 1 and photosystem 2, if we talk about, in photosystem 1, chlorophyll is about 20 to 30 molecules and carotenoid is 1. So same here is chlorophyll is more, that is 3 to 7, and carotenoid is 1. But if I ask about the more number of chlorophyll molecule, that will be in photosystem 1. Location, if we say that, see now this is photosystem 1 and this is photosystem 2. Try to understand this. Now photosystem is involved in both non-cyclic as well as cyclic photophosphorylation. If I ask you what is the location of non-cyclic, it takes place in thylakoid membrane. If I ask you the location of cyclic, it happens in stromal lamellae. So where is photosystem present? 1 present, it means it is present on the membrane of thylakoid as well as on the membrane of stroma lamellae. But photosystem 2, it only play role in non-cyclic. It means it only present in thylakoid membrane. Photosystem 2 is absent in stromal lamellae. You have to be very careful when you are going to mark your MCQs, right? So photosystem 2 is absent in stromal lamellae. Source of electron, कहाँ से electrons किस system को कहाँ से electron transfer हो रहे हैं. So if we talk about photosystem 1, in photosystem 1, first if we talk about, now it again I will write it play role in non-cyclic as well as it play role in cyclic. Non-cyclic में कहाँ से आते हैं, इसको कहाँ से पहुँचते हैं photosystem 1 में electrons? They have come from photosystem 2. So electrons come from chlorophyll A in cyclic, if we are talking about cyclic photophosphorylation. In case of non-cyclic, it receives the electron from photosystem through the electron transport chain. What about photosystem 2? It receives the electron from photolysis of water, because continuously जो ultimately provide कर रहा है electrons to photosystem 2, that is the photolysis of water. But because photosystem 1 is playing role in cyclic and non-cyclic, in cyclic they are coming from chlorophyll A, and in non-cyclic they are coming from photosystem 2, and in photosystem, that is the photolysis of water. Now that was about, I hope you are clear with now photosystem 1 and 2. You can write down about reaction center first, then you can write down about the which photosystem play role in which cycle, then ratio, then their location and the source of electrons. That is complete answer of your 3 marks question. You don't need to write more than that. Even also complete the 5 marks also. Comparison between cyclic and non-cyclic. See, again we are going to take few points. The products. First thing, what is the product synthesized in cyclic photophosphorylation? As we have just finished that only ATP is synthesized here. But in non-cyclic, what are the products? ATP as well as our reducing power. What is the reducing power? That is NADPH2. But in cyclic, only ATP is synthesized. If I talk about the byproduct, because in non-cyclic, we know that photolysis of water happens. Here in in cyclic we have not talked about any byproduct, so no byproduct, no oxygen. But non-cyclic we talked about byproduct. Oxygen is the byproduct, and when it is formed after splitting or photolysis of water. The next one is oxygen evolved. No oxygen is released in the cyclic photophosphorylation. Yes, in non-cyclic oxygen is released after splitting of water. When these there are two pair of electron as well as oxygen was released there. Photosystem cyclic photophosphorylation require only PS1, which has the wavelength 700 nanometer. It non-cyclic require both photosystem 2, which has wavelength 680 nanometer, and again photosystem 1, which has the wavelength of 700 nanometer. So source of electron, there is in cyclic chlorophyll A is sufficient to provide the electron, so no external source of electron is required here. Here water is the external source of electrons which are supplied to the chlorophyll A of photosystem 2. Conditions, with best conditions for cyclic and best conditions, I'm talking about the when they give their best result. The process cyclic photophosphorylation works best in the low intensity of light. Concentration of CO2 needs to be low, and in anaerobic condition it gives its maximum result. Means it requires low in light intensity of light as well as low concentration of carbon dioxide. But non-cyclic, it works best. Neither it requires very low light, very dim, or very high. It works in the optimum intensity of light. Concentration of CO2 it needs high, as well as it works in aerobic condition, and cyclic they work in anaerobic condition. So this is all about our differences between photosystem 1 and photosystem 2, as well as the cyclic and non-photophosphorylation, cyclic and non-cyclic photophosphorylation. And the most important, today we talked about cyclic photophosphorylation. So this is all about today's lecture. In next lecture again we are going to meet with another interesting pathway, that is the dark reaction. I hope that you are able to understand this pathway in a proper manner. I will see you in my next lecture. Till then, have a very good day.